Visualization techniques using categorical data in data science. Hi, I'm M. Asif Hussain from KnowHow Academy. What are we going to learn in this video? We are going to learn what are the different ways that we can visualize the categorical data in data science using bar chart, pie chart, Pareto diagram, and we are even going to learn and understand the Pareto principle. So by this end of the video, you could able to understand what are the different techniques we have to visualize the categorical data, and we can even going to learn and understand what are the different charts that will be helpful for us in order to understand our frequency and cumulative frequency that will be helpful in projects in data science. So watch till the end. So my dear viewers, whenever I am talking about a categorical data, okay, so I know that we have the information about the characters, which are, for example, in our previous videos of data science where we have learned the types of data, there I have explained that we have the customers data, products data, and so on. So with that example of our previous video, let me consider a product called mobile phones, right? So here on the screen I have the data of mobile phones. So here I have three types of mobile phones. So one is iPhone and the sold are 258, and another mobile phone that we have is Samsung Galaxy Note where we have 92, and we have Motorola Ultra Edge 5G which is booming now, and that also we are sold as 121. If I do the sum of all these three, then we have got the sum, the total as 471. The formula to calculate all these is equal to sum with all these three columns, okay, all these three informations, 258 plus 92 plus 121. So now with this particular categorical data that we have it on the mobile phones, let us go and do a small bar chart here. So bar chart, or even we can call it as a column chart. So if I consider it, the same particular data that I have, which is of mobile phones, of iPhone, Samsung Galaxy Note, and Motorola Ultra Edge 5G, okay, we could able to understand, okay, here in a very simple steps, as we have only three products. But what if the case we have a lot of products or lot of frequencies that we have? It is very difficult to understand as part of category. So now we are converting this data into a pictorial format. So when we are converting into a pictorial format, so we have a lot of options to choose, as many as variety of charts that we would like to choose it. But selecting the appropriate and the right visual is always be helpful for us in order to show the right information in a right way to the client or customer. So what I have done here is that the data that I have converted into a column chart. So now just by looking at this column chart, if you carefully observe, we have iPhones which are in demand, we have got 258 sales, and Samsung Galaxy Note we have got 92 sales, and we have Motorola Ultra Edge 5G we have got 121 sales. And because the Motorola Ultra Edge 5G is a bit cheaper, or it's friendly, Indian friendly type of price that we have it when compared to Samsung Galaxy Note, and that's why customers might have purchased it a lot when compared to iPhone or when compared to Samsung Galaxy Note. So now just by looking at this particular data, don't you think that iPhones are in high demand, as the size of the iPhone column, okay, it's in a heighter, no, it's in height. So we can able to estimate, we can able to understand as part of visual that iPhones are in good demand, right? iPhones have got the highest frequency, iPhones have got the highest number of sales, right? So but this is not possible for us to even go and look into it when we have it in a data format. So now the same thing what I'm trying to do, I'm converting it into a pie chart. So when I am converting it into a pie chart, the advantage is that I could able to see the percentage, the relative frequency that I have for each products that we have in our particular data. So if you carefully observe that the Samsung Galaxy Note are 19% sold, and the iPhones are 55% sold, and the Motorola Ultra Edge 5G are 26% sold. So what's happening here? So when I am trying to show this kind of information as part of percentages with the relative frequency, and all the frequency, if you cumulative it, if we sum it, we are getting it into a 100%. So when we are trying to learn these kind of techniques as part of a simple data, it will be very easy for us to understand the same kind of scenarios when we are working in real time in the data science projects. So most of the times when we are working with the sales and marketing type of data, in the sales and marketing data, we might get these kind of scenarios to use all these principles and to help us in converting the raw data into a pictorial format. For a better understanding, we have to find out the standard mean, we have to find mode, we have to find a median, we have to find standard deviation, we need to find the frequency, cumulative frequency. There are a lot of mathematical calculations that are required whenever we are doing a data science project. That's where our statistical and mathematical skills also will be helpful for us to solve these kind of problems. All right, so this is another pie chart that will be helpful for us. And if I would like to show you the another diagram, which is Pareto diagram. So the high advantage of showing the data in rather than in a bar chart or in a pie chart, if we show this in a Pareto diagram, the one advantage is that we get the cumulative frequency where it is represented in the line. As you can see that this is represented in the line. If I just consider this, you can see that, okay, I'm calculating this cumulative frequency by considering the relative frequency plus the cumulative frequency of my previous product. So the cumulative frequency is generally used in a descending order. It can be shown in a descending order. So that's where we can see that, okay, if I do not have this cumulative frequency, there will not be any line here. Okay, there will not be any line here. So when we do not have any line, it's very similar that we have seen the regular column chart, but the highest advantage is that it is showing us how well the products are getting changed, the products are getting increased from a bigger value to the smaller value, or how it is getting structured in a cumulative frequency way. It's showing it in a one straight line under the graph. So that's the biggest advantage that we have with a cumulative frequency, which is generally represented in a descending order, from a bigger value to the smaller value. And the bigger value that we have is 258, which is iPhone, and the next bigger value that we have is 121, which is Motorola Ultra Edge 5G, and the last product that we have is Samsung Galaxy Note, which is 92, which is sold, right? So the reason that we are using this Pareto diagram, this Pareto, if you have heard this name, it's a person name. Okay, Pareto is a person name, and we all might have learned in our childhood. We might have learned all this in 9th standard or 10th standard. Pareto Principle. Now, what is this Pareto Principle? Most of you might have heard that 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule. Now, what is this 80-20 rule? If you carefully observe this 80-20 rule, then in this 80 to 20% rule, 80% of the effects comes with the 20% of the causes. 80% of the effects comes with the 20% of the problems, if I would like to even call. Okay, 80-20 rule. This principle was much more famous when we were studying in our childhood, 9th standard or 10th standard. Even Microsoft has also considered that 80% of the problems can be solved. 80% of the problems can be solved with this 20% of techniques, right? So there are many things that many companies are using it in a vice versa way. But the Pareto principle, we generally learn this with the 80-20 rule, 80% to 20%. So what Pareto has told us that 80% of the effects comes from the 20% of the causes. So with this principle, we go with our calculation part in our real-time projects even. So this is what we have to understand, that the visualization techniques and how they are helpful to convert this categorical data into visualization techniques in data science, with lot of principles, lot of mathematical calculations involved in it. So in this video, my dear viewers, we have learned how we have to convert this data into different kind of visuals, and how Pareto is helpful, and how cumulative frequency is helpful for us in order to order it in a descending order and make our categorical data much more understandable in a pictorial format. So thank you for choosing KnowHow Academy as your source for IT knowledge. We are always here to help you to navigate the tech world. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you. Stay curious and keep learning.